Hello fellow old schoolers, and welcome to the next match of the tournament of the Long Island Cup 3.0. We're at the end of the Swiss here, and this is another game from the surprise matchup, the camera that was just set to record at table 22 in the tournament, which is a middle table, so we'll get all kinds of brews here. This particular matchup is between Ben and Jens-Ole, who we've seen before on the channel. Ben was this really cool guy that I met at the event, and he was originally from France and has traveled or moved to Denmark, to Copenhagen, and I think this is his first Danish old school event, and he's been following the channel for a while. So I asked him if he would like to be recorded on it, and he was supposed to face Jens-Ole in this matchup, so this is not their placement. I don't know where they were supposed to be placed, but we just made room for them here to get a game in on camera, just for the heck of it. So this is a really aggressive matchup here. We have a couple of Atog decks. We've seen Jens-Ole's Stompy-Atog before, which is a mono-green critter deck with burn and Atogs and a lot of artifacts. And Ben is on what I've dubbed Bloodthirsty Atog, and it's a red and white Atog deck. So two dangerous critters here. Let's go over the decks real quick, and I'll post a timestamp in a comment below, and you can just go to that particular timestamp if these decks are not your thing, and then you'll be moved to the first round of the match. First up, we've got Jens-Ole's Stompy-Atog here. We've seen it before. There are some differences between this deck picture and what he actually brought, because yeah, he changed it in the last second. But yeah, there's another Pendelhaven, and I think the Curd Apes are out. And he's put 4 Scavenger Folks in instead. Likely to have a better game against artifact decks that we see so prolific in the tournament scene in Denmark lately. And I suppose it's another target for the second Pendelhaven that goes in there instead of a forest. So small tweaks here, but that was what he brought. So we see a lot of critters here. 3 Golden Pixies, 4 Script Sprites, and there'll be 4 Scavenger Folks that can blow up to destroy an artifact. It's a 1/1 creature. And a full playset of Giant Growth and a couple of Berserk. So it resembles Smash-Atog, Berserk-Atog quite a bit here, because there are 3 Atogs, and a couple of Copper Tablets, and 4 Blackwise, and a couple of Anks of Mithra that you can sacrifice into the Atog, along with 5 Moxen and the Black Lotus. So yeah, it's a Wheel of Fortune, full burn package with lightning bolts and chain lightnings, and that's about it. Very aggressive, right in your face. This is Bloodthirsty Atog, and I've dubbed it that because we have those 2 Bloodlusts in there. So they'll go crazy. 4 Atogs here, and a full playset of Savannah Lions, and then we have some from white. We have the Balance, and we have the Disenchant, and a couple of Spirit Links here. Pretty damn nice to have the main deck. I've never seen that before in an Atog deck, so pretty unorthodox spin on it here. We also have the 4 lightning bolts and the 4 chain lightnings, and 2 Blood Moon's main deck here. Then we have 4 Copper Tablets, 2 Meek Stones, and we can see all these creatures here will be under that Meek Stone, and it will make it so that creatures with power above 2 won't be able to untap. Then we have a bunch of Anks of Mithra, full playsets of Blackwise. So yeah, very aggressive and very, very fast as well. I imagine these decks will just go nuts. The sideboard here, we actually see a couple of Preachers. It's pretty damn cool. So we can sideboard that in if he's against mid-range, I suppose, and just nick the other guy's creatures. We have White Knights against the Abyss. There's 2 Armageddons, which makes perfect sense in a deck like this. We have that red enchantment. It's an enchant world called it's called Gravity Sphere, and it makes sure that no flying creatures can fly. So it's great against skies and other similar decks, because he'll then be able to block flying men and Serenity Befrites with his ground forces. And obviously it's another out against the Abyss, because it's an enchant world, and if you play an enchant world and there's another enchant world in play, the previous enchant world will get removed. And of course the red blasts are in here. And we have the 4th disenchant in the sideboard and a couple of divine offerings. I think those divine offerings will be great after sideboard because you need to gain some life against another burn deck, and it might make all the difference here. The Spiritlings are a very unorthodox addition for the main deck as well, but for the same reason it might be very nice just to gain a few life from that. Though those Meek Stones, they don't look like very usable. They will be dead draws, I imagine, in this matchup, because Jens-Ole on Stompy-Atog, he doesn't have any Genser. Actually, he doesn't have any creatures that will be affected by that Meek Stone. It remains to be seen whether that Blood Moon will have effect. We'll see. We will likely see a very, very aggressive matchup here. Let's get ready for the mayhem. Stompy-Atog versus Bloodthirsty Atog. Final round of the Swiss. At table 22, round number 1 here. And we have Jens-Ole on the right here. He's on the play immediately, starting off with a couple of Scavenger Folks and a Pendelhaven. Great start from him, because he can pump the Pendelhaven for extra damage, and if the other guy gets some annoying artifacts out, as he might do, they can sacrifice themselves to blow that artifact up. Ooh, only a single factory out of Ben here, so a bit mana starved. No red mana to bolt. There's a white mana though. So yeah, immediate creature onslaught here, just coming over, punching him for 3 as one of them gets pumped by that Pendelhaven. So Ben needs to react fast here. We see his dice at the bottom there. Those are black dice, so it's pretty hard to see. I hope he'll put them up in the middle in a bit. I think he will. Ooh, balancing here. That's very nice out. So getting rid of both Scavenger Folks. And no one has to discard any cards, because Jens-Ole was on the play and has played a Mox. Actually, Ben has to discard a bit. Okay. So he did sacrifice a bit here. Oh yes, there's discard a land as well. Yeah, discarding the plains. Chaos Orb coming out of Stompy-Atog here. Now will Ben be mana starved after losing the plains? No, luckily not. He has a plateau. So he could disenchant the Chaos Orb now. It doesn't do it. It doesn't have a disenchant likely. So he attacks with the factory while the other guy is tapped out. So changing blows here at the opening rounds of the match. Okay, we see Ben's dice in the middle there. He's down to 17 and Jens-Ole is down to 18. Very equal. Now activating the Chaos Orb to oh, and it hits. A very secure flip by Jens-Ole. Now I think usually he would have taken the plateau to crack the other guy out of his colored mana, but he doesn't have any red mana himself, so he can't really bolt or destroy that factory for now. That's a strip mine though. Yeah, I think that's the correct play, just straight up strip mining the only guy's colored mana. There's a copper tablet. Okay, so both players will take damage in their upkeep here. A very, very dangerous card in this matchup. There's a black wise on Jens-Ole, and both players mana starved here. So the drama is on as both are taking damage. There's a factory out of Stompy-Atog here. Skull is mana, but it can attack. But Jens-Ole needs to keep below 5 cards, or he will start to take a bunch of damage from that black wise. Getting in with the factory. Ooh, giant growthing it here. Huge punch in. That's like 7 points of damage. Now the copper tablet does some damage as well. Yeah, complete mana starvation out of Ben here on Bloodthirsty Atogs. There's the forest, and the factory comes over again. Oh, and another giant growth. Ben is at death's door here, Sol-Ring, but he taps the plains out, so he can't even Swords to Plowshares here. So I imagine he doesn't have a Swords to Plowshares to remove that crucial factory. So we see Chaos Orbing Bloodthirsty Atog's factory did a lot here because the factory kicking in. Oh, and I said 7 points of damage before. It's only 5 only, but because the Pendelhaven can't pump it, obviously. I thought it did. But it can't because it's not a 1/1 creature. Anyway, getting in again with the factory. Still tapping out here. No disenchants then. Does he have something? Disenchanting the copper tablet, playing another black wise. Yeah, it's game. He so many threats against him here. He could have disenchanted the factory, but he would have died to the copper tablet instead. So Stompy-Atog overruns here. Both mana start, but in the end, The copper tablet and that factory boosted by giant growth did all the difference here. So hanging in the balance for a long time. Here we see some sideboard. I think Ben takes out his meek stones here. Yep, he has anticipated that that won't work in this matchup. So we get a sneak peek. Only 2 cards sideboarded here. So what would you take in? Maybe the Divine Offerings. But he hasn't seen Atogs yet, so he likely doesn't know what's in there. Did you see a lot of artifacts? You saw the copper tablet. You could put in the Divine Offerings. We'll see. Round number 2. I don't know what Jens-Ole has sideboarded. We don't know his sideboard actually, because he made it on the day. He sent me that deck picture the night before this event. I think. No, he sent it afterwards, obviously, but it wasn't a picture taken the day before the event. Okay, Ben on the play here, starting off with the Black Wise. In this matchup, it is really an edge to be able to start, because you get the first punch in with the Black Wises. So being on the play means a lot in a Black Wise matchup like this. Scavenger Folk coming down. And it can be pumped by that Pendelhaven, unless it gets bolted and there's a mountain. So could look like, yeah, Chain Lightning on the Scavenger Folk, removing him. So Jens-Ole takes 1 point of damage from the Black Wise, down to 5 cards here. Look, he has a Black Wise in hand as well. He needs to get his cards out. Plays an Ankh of Mithra instead. Really, really dangerous against a Black Wise like this. Really aggressive move, because both decks don't require a lot of mana. But of course Jens-Ole doesn't really know what he's against here. Perhaps he has an inkling, but he hasn't seen any Atogs yet, so he doesn't know. Okay, then attack with the factory, and there's a bolt from the City of Brass, so that's why he didn't play his Black Wise. He has an Ankh of Mithra Black Wise combination. Savannah Lion coming out though. Better to remove the factory still. Now bolting that as well. Taking a point of damage from the City of Brass. There's a Black Wise Ankh of Mithra combination. There's a Black Wise on both players and an Ankh of Mithra on both players actually. So perilous board state here, and the damage is just pouring in. 2 points of damage for playing that land on Ben, and that's a Blood Moon. So the City of Brass and the Pendelhaven has become mountains here. Mana screwing Jens-Ole a bit perhaps, because there's no green mana now, and there's a Black Wise against him. Okay, passing the turn. So the Blood Moon did have effect here. Jens-Ole can obviously still play his burn spells, but he won't be, and he's a Atog, but he won't be able to play all his green critters, and there's a lot of green cards in his deck. Ooh, another Black Wise against him here. He needs to be able to play something. And even if he plays lands, it'll take damage. He doesn't have a land. Oh my. So both players just drawing here, can't play anything. Okay, that's an Atog out of Jens-Ole. So I think he's barely below those double Black Wises still, because we haven't seen any damage yet. So I think he's at 4 cards in hand here. What about Ben? How hard? He must be approaching the Black Wise range as well. Yeah, he needs to play a card here. There's that Atog staring him down. At least there can't be any berserks on the Atog. Okay, bolting the Atog here. Yeah, what to do? He sacks the Ankh of Mithra on it. That makes sense, I think, just to make it survive. The Ankh of Mithra is pretty hard on both players in this situation. So perhaps he'd rather have the Ankh of Mithra out. And he would still like the Black Wise on Ben. On the Bloodthirsty Atog, passing the turn to Ben. Untapping, drawing a card here. Still below Black Wise range. Barely. Plateau coming down. Nothing out of him, but he did get a card out. So, and there's a a land. So both players are just barely keeping below, but that's a tie against. It's also a mountain. No green mana for Stompy-Atog yet. The Atog comes over here, nibbling at Ben's feet here for 1 point of damage. Okay. So Ben going up to 5 cards again here. Needs to play something, or the Black Wise will start to do damage to him. But there's that Blood Moon. I think it annoys both players a bit here, but it annoys Jens-Ole the most because he's mooned out of any green mana, and Bloodthirsty Atog still has his stuff. Ooh, a balance here. Getting rid of the Atog, though there's 3 lanes, so I suppose we need to remove some cards in hand, and we need. Then you place a lion with a plateau. You can't do that. That's a mountain, but I think Ben, it doesn't really matter. It gets chain lightning immediately, and it would have gone out this turn instead. And Ben actually wrote me this in a messenger that he remembered that he made a mistake like this. It's really easy to do because usually you just play with the duels, right? It's not often that there's an active Blood Moon for so long. But I do think, unless I'm mistaken from that clear, I do think Ben should have removed one of his lanes. Let's see. There's an Atog coming out here. Because he has 4 lanes and Jens-Ole only had 3, now he has 4 as well. His other mana source is a Mox, and balance doesn't touch a Mox. So I do think, yeah, it is a land. It is that legendary land that's just a mountain and can remove land walk and first strike. Ooh, Spirit Linking the Atog here. That's pretty cheeky. Getting in. Only for a single point, but it does heal Ben up a bit here. Yeah, Jens-Ole is at 4 cards. Oh, still holding below 5. Getting a factory out, but that's still a mountain as well. So Ben wisely keeps back with sacrificing his Black Wises, because at any point in time, if Jens-Ole misses a land drop or any play from now on out, the double Black Wises would start to put the hurt on him. So a single poke again. Ben heals up a single point of life, or he should. Ooh, Bloodlusting! That'll actually give Ben 5 points of life here. I mean, Spirit Links main, they can be pretty damn cool against a burn deck like this if he survives that. Ooh, and he also sacks both his Black Wises. That's amazing. Ooh, he must be going for the kill here, putting Jens-Ole down to 4 points of life. And he'll heal up 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 life. So the life discrepancy here is incredible. That's a pearl out of Jens-Ole. At least he has no Black Wises on him yet anymore. But there's a Chaos Orb, and the Atog will swing in, putting Jens-Ole down to 3. Do we have a bolt here? That's the main thing. Ben heals another point of life, being well up. Yeah, he's away from burn range here. Jens-Ole forfeits the game here, drawing into Script Sprite. That Blood Moon, man, just kind of held Jens-Ole back completely from all his green mana, so he couldn't play half his deck. Really nifty here. And then a Spirit-Linked Bloodlusted Atog for the win. Amazing stuff. So that Spirit-Link just put Ben on the Bloodthirsty Atog way beyond harm's way. So it was a hopeless situation for Stompy-Atog here. No green mana, down to 3 points of life. You can just wait for the bolt, and that Spirit-Linked Atog will just attack him each turn. Oh, and he could sacrifice the Chaos Orb next turn, obviously, to the Atog and kill him. So he would be dead the next turn. So it wasn't, yeah, there was nothing to do. So we're going into round number 3, the deciding round between these two critters here. Let's see how it plays out, and who will be the overall winner of this matchup. A lot of sideboarding here. I think both players have more of an impression of each other's deck at this point. They know there's an Atog mirror situation here. So put a bit forward. And this time Jens-Ole will be on the play, as he lost the previous one on the guy in Stompy-Atog. So that'll provide him an edge if he draws into any Black Wises, that is. Because he'll get that crucial first damage in, and both players will try to win the race here. Oh, he mulligans here though, perhaps searching for some black wises on his opening hand. It's all about burning the other guy down before he can do the same to you. I would imagine Ben has taken in some divine offerings here in his third round, because now he definitely knows what he's against. And he'll keep the Spirit Links in. Okay, Jens-Ole removes a copper tablet. Not worth much in this matchup actually, because he'll burn both sides. There's the Black Wise, turn 1. 3 points of damage getting in. But Jens-Ole is behind a card and a draw. There's a Chain Lightning. It does cost Ben a card, but he needs to remove some cards from hand, so it makes sense, right? Though he might want to use it against the critters. Oh, the Anchor of Mishra. Black-Wise combination. Bloodthirsty Atog on 5 cards here. No, 6 cards here. Crucial, and taking more damage from the Anchor of Mishra. This is the lockdown here. Immediately Atog coming out. No artifacts to feed it with though. So a bolt and that Atog will be gone, but Bloodthirsty Atog just needs to get it out there immediately. 2 points of damage and for playing the land, and there goes the Atog away. No artifacts to make it survive, and a factory comes in for 2. What an opening from Stompy-Atog here. And we see here the difference when you're on the play in such a mirror-like matchup here. One just becomes the aggressor. But I mean, Bloodthirsty Atog, oh, that's a blood moon. A lot of blood. So the factory has become a mountain here, and no green mana. But there's the Atog again. And Ben is really down in life here. Is it down to 9 or something? 8? Can't really tell. But pretty close anyway. The Atog can do 7 points of damage if both artifacts are sacked. Probably should stack them immediately though. Ooh, is that a balance here? Usually helps Bloodthirsty Atog a lot. Disenchanting the Black Wise. It gets eaten by the Atog here. Might as well. It'll put him out of bolt range. And if there's a Softer Plowshare on it. So he attacks here. Oh, sacking the Anchor of Mishra on it. Why? Why? Not yet. But I suppose without the Black Wise he doesn't really need the Anchor. And he has seen that Bloodthirsty Atog doesn't have a very high mana curve. It's all Savannah Lions and bolts and cheap stuff like that. Oh, another Atog. But that ink would be very nice now in this matchup. But okay, there it goes, bolting the Atog. Never mind. I suppose it was good to use the Anchor of Mishra. Then at least he could use it to get some damage in here. Plateau coming down, Strip Mine. But remember that Strip Mine is a mountain because of the Blood Moon. So now the Blood Moon just puts a dampener on the game here, making it so that all the green critters can't get out. And but it also, I mean, it also mana screws Bloodthirsty Atog slightly here. He only has a single plains. The rest is mountains. But he has the Atog, so now the attacker role has switched here. Bloodthirsty Atog coming in for 1. Nothing. No defenders out of Stompy-Atog. Passing the turn. Black Wise. So he top deck that. I don't know. No. Bloodthirsty Atog is well below Black Wise range. Ooh, that's a 4 card. A 4 mana drop here. Oh, it's way. What could that be? What does he have in his deck that costs 4? Oh, it's an Armageddon. He must have sideboarded that in. Really dangerous against an active Black Wise, but he had a mountain in hand, and he's the guy with the attacker here. What a turnaround of this game here! And there's a Black Wise back into Jens-Ole here, who has a full hand. Oh my! He's at 5 points of cards, 5 cards here though, so he'll take more damage from the Black Wise. Completely mana screwed by that Armageddon. Atog coming in. Jens-Ole down to 10 points of life here. He'll go down to 9 in the upkeep. What does he get? A red mox. Now he can bolt the Atog if he has any bolts. But he has a hand with a lot of green cards here. That Blood Moon just screws him. Oh, and it's a bolt to his face, down to 6 life here. Getting in with the Atog, putting Jens-Ole down to 5. Now eating the Black Wise. Oh, what a play from Jens-Ole here. As a response to the Black Wise getting eaten, he bolts the Atog. Wise from him to wait with the bolt here. So there's no Black Wise, no Atog now. Another switch around. We're back to square one. Both players down to 5 points of life. It's like a race here. Neck and neck, both decks. But the only Black Wise we have here is the Black Wise on the Bloodthirsty Atog. He does have a Chaos Orb though. He Chaos Orbs the Tiger. Okay, will it hit? No, it doesn't hit. I mean, it might hit. It might touch with the corner there, but it didn't flip 360. Yeah. I think Ben is reasonably new to old school, so it does require some practice to get the Chaos Orb calibrated. And even guys that have flipped that orb a lot will usually miss from time to time. Sushi coming down here. This might be game. Oh, but that's a Divine Offering. 4 points of life to Ben. That's actually a huge turnaround again. That Sushi really helped the Bloodthirsty Atog. And now I can play the Copper Tablet because he gained 4 life from that Sushi. I mean, it's really a paradox. If he hadn't played that Sushi, I think that's another Sushi though. And a Script Sprite. Okay, coming in here. So he needs to run fast. He's down to 4 points of life. As the Copper Tablet does 1 point of damage to Bloodthirsty Atog here. But he needs to run him down before... I mean, next turn, Jens-Ole goes down to 3. Is there a bolt? There's a bolt. That's game. And there's a Giant Growth and a Berserk on the end of Jens-Ole. It would have been game next turn. But Bloodthirsty Atog takes this one 2-1 in a drama of a final round here. Both players switching around so many. And look at that. Perfect hit with the Chaos Orb. So he actually can play it or flip it perfectly, but sometimes this happens. It happens to me as well. When you most need it, the Chaos Orb will not work. And yeah, we actually have a bonus game here. That's pretty nice. I think it's the first time in this tournament that people played again. But I think it's because these even a 2-1 between these decks, it goes so fast that they still have some extra time. So round number 4, but this doesn't count for the tournament. It's just an extra game. But we can see how the decks match up against each other again here. It's all on the play Black Wise immediately. Bloodthirsty Atog under pressure from the get-go. So I mean, what a match this previous match was. I really thought Jens-Ole had it. I think the main thing was it's a Black Wise Ink of Mishra opening again here. It's like a replaying the final round here. That opening, such a brutal combination. The damage potential is big and it goes so fast here. Because if you play lands, you take damage. If you don't play lands, the Black Wise will give you damage. Disenchanting the Black Wise. I really think perhaps even the Divine Offering was this thing that did it here. Yeah, it was. It was the thing that saved Bloodthirsty Atog from in the previous match. If he hadn't Divine Offering that, the Sushi would get in with a Giant Growth and Berserk a turn after. So all down to that sideboarded Divine Offering. Really a crucial sideboard option for Bloodthirsty Atog. Anyway, I gotta keep my mind on this game. Strip mining one of the lanes here out of Bloodthirsty Atog, and now he needs to pay even more life just to get his stuff out. So he pays 2 points of life to get down a mountain. Stays untapped so that he can handle that factory if it attacks though. Jens-Ole is in a dominant position here. Full life. Oh, but that's another Divine Offering healing Bloodthirsty Atog a bit here. He needs that. And now he plays his third land drop after the ink is gone. And there's a Black Wise on Jens-Ole. Another factory coming down. The factory gets in for 3. Gets pumped by the other factory. And Jens-Ole has taken a point of damage from the Black Wise, it seems. In the upkeep. Okay, 4th lane drop. So Bloodthirsty Atog wiggled out of the lock here with Ink of Mithra Blackwise, destroying them in turn. Another point of damage from the Blackwise. Activating the factory. Been has just put down that factory, so he can't pump itself. So if he blocks, Jens-Ole will just pump his own factory and he'll become a 3/3, and Ben can only become a 2/2. Oh, but he's Divine Offering on the factory. Mana starving Jens-Ole here. It's up to 6 cards, no lands. Activating the factory, coming in for 2. The Blackwise do 2 points of damage here. Lane drop, City of Frost, just what Jens-Ole needs here. Now he has access to both his colors. Activating the factory, really? He tries to draw a bolt, perhaps? Okay, getting in for 2, then bolting him. That's why. Okay, so Jens-Ole took the 2nd or the 4th game here. What really an equal matchup. It's 2-2 for when you include this bonus game, but as for what counts in the tournament, it was Bloodthirsty Atog winning 2-1 here in a grueling match, really close. And at a point in time in that 3rd round, I really thought that Jens-Ole had Bloodthirsty Atog's number, but Bloodthirsty Atog just made it work with that Divine Offering and just getting out of a pinch in the final rounds and then just bolting the other guy out. So great match this one. It's 2-2, but really it's 2-1. So that was the final round of the Swiss on the random camera. Next up, we'll go back to the quarterfinals of this tournament, and we'll have Composition A coming up against its quarterfinal opponent. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next battle.